abruptly. And I will be ending this one very shortly. I just came back to, I don't know, not leave it like that. Oh, and I didn't even get to Micah. Oh, baby. Mm, 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 mm. Michael Miller. Listen, we're going to have that conversation now. It's time. Okay? I'm going to try my best to get the video up tonight. Okay? We're going to have that conversation about Micah. I think a lot of y'all are doing too much, and I think a lot of y'all are being very selective, of course, in who you want to blame, be upset with, or try to hold accountable for a lot of this mess. And before I go any further, let me be clear, y'all. I shed tears for Micah too. Okay, that situation, that case hit me like some of the others have, but not all do. So a lot of people have and still do feel bad about what Micah probably endured, what happened to her. Just even the thought of what not just happened to her whole life with, okay, I'm gonna say her whole life because let's be honest, that's another thing. I didn't even get to that in the video yet. Yeah, the video's done. I'm gonna post it, but I didn't even get to that yet. Just get started, baby. But we gotta have this conversation because y'all tripping. Yeah, y'all tripping, man. Y'all are tripping and y'all are really going ape shit ham for Micah, and you're putting so much into this. And if the cops and the feds are telling you they're not investigating her death, why don't y'all chill? Why don't y'all let the FBI go after JP and whomever else they're going after for whatever reasons they're going after them? Okay, listen. A part of me believes that a part of the reasons why they are not digging into Micah's death is because y'all so busy mourning Micah and painting her as a victim. You're not being honest. You're not being honest. You're not being honest. Y'all see Micah as there's a lot of descriptors on the internet. A great person, a good person. She was a beautiful soul. She was so sweet. This, that, and the third. Da 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 da. Okay. Okay. People say the same things about my mother. My mother. I almost said bitch. Mm, y'all can't handle that. Oh, fuck it. Bitch got hooked on crack when I was 12 years old. Did some of the worst things. Ooh, let me turn away. Let me turn away. Some of the worst things. Especially the neglect of her children, and did some of the worst things to her daughter. That'd be me. Okay? They say that about her. Okay? Strung out, died smoking crack. Or trying to smoke it. She was trying to smoke it. Mm-hmm. did some of the worst things. If I tell you some of the shit that my own mother has done to me because of her crack addiction, mm, 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 mm. You say that don't sound like a sweet person, a good person, someone who loves God and all that shit. Don't sound like that. Knowing all these things about her, they still say that. They still said it. I'm pretty sure they still say it to this day. When they describe who they call Gaga, when they describe Gaga, oh, it's just beautiful. Like, what the fuck? What bitch we talking about? Huh? Hmm? You got to be a cold Tony to do some of the shit she's done. That's how y'all talk about Micah. Poor, sweet, innocent Micah. Again, when I tell you it really did hurt me just knowing that this woman went through all this stuff, it has, because we can't deny, the fact that she was preyed upon early on in life. A lot of girls are, a lot of females are, a lot of women are. Hmm. However, they may not turn out perfectly, and they may have hurt some along the way. But a lot of them don't end up in the operation that Micah was in, which is that of her husband and them. Micah was eliminated after she definitely was determined to get out of it. She wanted to get out of it, and she wanted to bust the whole thing wide open. There's nothing wrong with that. She got every right to make that choice. However, that comes with consequences, because now you're trying to bust our thing up because you want to go on about your business. And in a lot of situations, they don't allow that. In a lot of cults, in a lot of religions, clubs, groups, gangs, they don't allow that. You in, you in. Ain't no out, baby. Out is in the ground. Okay? Her out was in her ashes. That's the out that they allow her to have. And those are the consequences that come with the life that she helped build. She helped build. Because we talking about Micah Miller. I can't even imagine being JP's first wife, because she's listening to all y'all talk about her, right? At first, you little crummy suckers, at first, y'all was saying that JP's first wife, because she looks so much like Micah, like that's her fault. She was portraying to be Micah because she helped JP set up and eliminate Micah. That was her in the tape at the pawn shop, at the gun store. That was Allison. That was his first wife. That's what y'all was saying with conviction. It's still on the internet. It's not going nowhere. Her children are gonna see it if they haven't already. A lot of people are gonna see it who all haven't already. Y'all was accusing that woman, but when she came out, which a lot of stuff she didn't have to do. She didn't have to back up a lot of stuff Micah was saying. She could have just talked about from her end of it why she needed her children away from JP. But y'all was happy to talk about her statement in court, her paperwork she filed when she got custody. You was happy to read her shit online, but y'all didn't come on here and give her no sincere apologies. Y'all didn't come on here and give Allison your love, your care, your condolences. Um, Offer her anything because she's still living. Micah not here no more. But Allison and those children are still here. She still got that's her husband. Now, if anybody might be innocent, it's probably her, probably Allison, because she met him when, child, please, before she probably didn't even know what hit her, as he was becoming the monster that he truly is. The same woman who was the first lady of the church, who Micah was watching, she was the nanny. She was nanny to their children while being married to JP's best friend and sleeping with that man husband. I mean, that woman husband, sleeping with Allison's husband. Micah was watching their children and sleeping with her husband while she married to JP's best friend that he ordained their marriage. And they doing all this in the church. I say now what now? Because Micah knew what kind of filthy, dirty dog JP was, and she liked that. She wanted that. She chose that. I don't care what you say about Micah being 15 years old. That's old shit. I could tell you some shit that happened to me way before 15. And at 15, baby, at 15, I was probably a good 25 years old by then. Okay? So miss me with all that. We give her grace for that part. But she got past that. She married, what's his name? Y'all say his name, Jeremy? JP's best friend? The one we got the pictures of with JP marrying him? Micah married a whole nother man as a grown woman. And decided that the life of sickness with JP is the life she wanted to build, while they were pretending to be a wonderful pastor and wife, not just JP. Everything y'all saying about JP applied to Micah as well. And we need to stop playing like it didn't. Because you know what's really where I just can't take it anymore? It's the fact that y'all didn't come on here and give Allison no apologies. That woman had to endure his sickness. She had to continue to allow her children to go to that man's house. JP not only was messing with Micah, JP took that little girl, who's now a grown woman, in the room in front of another man who was going to the church and took her virginity. However, he assaulted many of the children. And the church knew about it. He confessed to the church. He confessed to the parents. He confessed to the church. And they still decided to build that church. Micah still decided to marry him. Micah still decided, this is my man and I'm going to stick beside him. Throughout everything that JP's father has been doing, throughout the children in Africa. That shit y'all heard from Micah about JP, that wasn't even half of it. But what she has done was paint herself as really less than Cassie. You know Cassie and Diddy? Micah was more Cassie than Cassie is Cassie. Because from what we all know, Cassie was truly forced to do the things that she did. Micah built that corrupt organization with JP from the ground up. From the time that he was the youth pastor and the church found out about him and Micah, right? Oh, and him, RAP, graping children at the church, all his sick deviants, his sexual escapades, his multiple affairs, his drugs, his picking up prostitutes, his making his wife and him do things with prostitutes and probably other church members too. A whole bunch of things. And oh, by the way, the part where she said he would, you know, to a doll of a 4-year old. You think that's a doll? You think that was a doll? Y'all believe that was a doll? You think he was pleasuring himself to a doll that looked like a 4-year-old child? Or was it a child? Because he was sleeping with children in the church. Everybody knew it. Micah knew it. She knew it before she married him. She married him. They built that church. The same way he get up there and he tell his sermons, she got up there and she sang her songs. And they was doing the sickest things. He just happened to be abusive to her. How long were they together? Not 1 year. Not 3 years. Ooh, baby. 10? Micah was every bit a part of that operation. Do y'all remember at the funeral he said, "Oh, Micah, she was other people said Micah was the church. Micah was the church. Micah was the reason why members stayed there. She's the one who kept people there. The woman that everybody attacked, including me. Okay, I got her. I got a whole video on her thumbnail and everything. Don't regret it. I'll do it again. Okay, but who brought her raggedy ass? Yes, ma'am. In the group with that long ass speech with her. What was it? Honda, the dealership, the whole thing, and she wrote that long ass thing about how Michael was the one who orchestrated the deal between Honda and the church. Micah, a brainchild of this, Micah, brainchild of that. What JP say? Go back and watch it again. Micah did all the graphics, the logo. Didn't one of y'all say that logo was a Etta Ilya logo? Is it? I gotta look that up. Is it the one for the boy man love thing? Is that what that is? Cause you know that's what JP daddy, right? That's what he into, right? That's what JP daddy did it to him, right? Micah said in her Facebook post, if your husband force you to do drugs, illegal drugs. She said legal drugs. She didn't say nothing about that medication for the going in the hospital. No, baby. She said legal drugs, sexual abuse, all that. She was doing her face like, as in, my husband. We talking about my husband. She said God doesn't like divorce, but does he like abuse? Okay. We gotta admit that they were one and the same. Y'all just fell in love with Micah. That's all that is, baby. But Micah is just a part of the sickness and the ringleader of the sickness as JP and everybody else. Hell, ain't no telling how many children being hurt under Micah, but she'd never tell on herself. God doesn't like divorce, but does he like abuse? Damn. Did he like divorce when Allison had to divorce him because you was fucking him? And watching their children and fucking him? Question. Did God like divorce then? When y'all went and started a whole new church and built that whole gang, mafia, low down, dirty cult, child trafficking, everything under the sun, old nasty prostitute grabbing. P. Diddy ass wannabe. I think he got P. Diddy beat. He do, because he got a whole cult. Let's just keep it real. Y'all keep talking about the church members, why they there with their children, because that's they lifestyle. It was Micah lifestyle. She just couldn't escape being abused. He was never gonna stop. He wasn't never gonna treat her like anything of value. And she was over it. Micah was getting old. Older than her age. Nobody didn't even want to believe that was her in the pawn shop. Even I didn't want to believe it was her. When y'all first said it was Allison, I was like, man, they tripping hard. Then when I looked, I said, whoa, she does look severely aged. And then walking with a limp. I don't know what that was about. But like the hips was messed up, or there was an injury there or something. But that walk was the puffy eyes, that woman was going through it. Yes. So is Cassie. So is a lot of abused women. But let's not forget, Mickey and Mallory is who they were at one point in time. Okay, Micah chose that. She chose JP, knowing all his sick shit. She stayed with him all these years, knowing all his sickness. She didn't go to God and say, God, help me bust this wide open, because I can't. This ain't it. And I'm not one for blaming a woman for staying with a man or being with a man for however long. We know all about that. However, Micah helped build this thing from the ground up. She was a part of it. Ain't no telling how many people and children she lured into that church. When you got so many testimonies saying that it was Micah, it was Micah. God doesn't like divorce. But does he like abuse? Huh? Does he like abuse to children? Does he like children being literally taken by some old crappy men at a church that they grew up in? That they're a part of the youth team in? She knew that was wrong. Why are you going over there starting schools in Africa with this man? And y'all, she wanted to start a school in Africa. What was her husband and daddy and all the other sick dudes gonna be doing to those children in Africa? And she knew all about it. She knew how they got down. And from what people are saying, because I'm not investigating all that shit, they not even, the Jamba, whoever he is over there in Africa, them people ain't getting none of that money. But of course, y'all being weird as hell. That woman, the police ain't doing nothing about that. They labeled it a suicide. Okay? Now, y'all need to get with God, maybe, because you got to understand. Micah didn't come out here saying, I confess, I was a part of it. I was there from day one. We was doing all this and that together. She was writing manifestos about the sickness of JP. It's all JP. If she wrote confessions on herself, she didn't sing about it. She didn't do a parody. They call it a parody. It's when they take a street song and make it into a church song. She didn't get up there, these are my confessions. She didn't sing that song at all. How is she going to disclose JP without disclosing herself? You read Allison's freaking court paperwork where she said JP had already came out, and you heard the ex-father-in-law who was a member, who was JP's right hand man, he said at the time. He came out to the whole church and confessed about his sickness and his drugs and his prostitutes and him sleeping with them children. This was at the time that they got busted in their affair. Can you hear me? Can you get closer? This is before Micah married his ass. That's how they started this church. Why we gonna sit up here and act like all this is not facts? But y'all worshiping and glorifying, it's about the same craziness as people like George Floyd is a what? It's not nice what happened to him, but come on with that. Same. It's not nice what happened to her. However, it's not for us to like judge and decide how people come to reckoning with their Lord and Savior for the shit that they do. There's a price to pay for everything. If I, in my right sound of mind, growing up in a church, which I did, cult, grew up in a cult too. Yes. So I know what a cult is. And that's what they built, a cult. That's why y'all can't wrap your head around why all the church members are there with their children. The FBI is over there, baby, because that's where it's at. They over there. It may lead them to some kind of conviction in what happened to Micah. I seriously believe that it could if they wanted to. But they might not. They're not gonna disclose all their investigations to nobody. They might choose to just let that stay where it is. Because you know what they're faced with also? But to solve her murder, allegedly. Plus, we ain't supposed to be saying these words. To solve that, to solve for X, what is X? All Micah's dirt. That's what everybody want. That's what her family want. Did her family really want that? I'm sure they don't. I'm sure they don't. But y'all being a little creepy over somebody who, honestly, it's good that she decided this ain't good no more. But why did she decide that? Because if she was pampered, if she was happy, would she have left? If she wasn't abused and treated that way, gang stalked and all that. That's what happens when you're in a cult, baby. All that shit that happened to Micah. I am 1,000% sure that they took her out. A lot of us are. And I'm pretty sure the cops are too. The FBI, all that. I mean, come on. If we are, they are. This ain't no hunch. This ain't no, well, we just pulling stuff out our butts. I mean, it's basically spelled out, except for and they're not touching it. No matter what y'all rumors say, they are not investigating her leaving this earth. And 9 times out of 10, some of those people got affiliations with that ring that they have. That is highly likely. Or they know someone, they're affiliated with someone in that area who is a customer, a client, some kind of way affiliated. They probably was one shooting their jizz on Micah's face and having JP lick it off their balls. I mean, come on, it's too much to be revealed. I really don't think that they're gonna touch on that. However, they're gonna have to do something. How much they gonna do? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know, because I think there's a lot of personal involvement there. I think there's a lot. And y'all going after the lawyer, y'all don't even know what y'all dealing with. I mean, if y'all are naive, so naive that you keep making Micah Miller videos all day, every day, TikTok, Facebook, in the group, ring your mouth, come up with shit all damn day. I'm glad y'all. That's white folk shit. Yeah, that's white folk shit. Y'all got that kind of time on your hands, baby. You do, because y'all just got it like that. Cause you done stole everybody's shit. So you got a head fucking start. Your life is pretty damn good. Where you can sit on your ass and post about Micah all day, every day. But you ain't posting the real shit about Micah. You not. And they looking at you. Like, how can JP be so obvious to you merely through his sermons? But y'all look at Micah, who been there, okay, started from the bottom, now we here. The head lady, the first lady, his partner in crime, Mickey and Mallory, they started this thing. And be like, oh, she's just the innocent 15-year-old that he um, groomed. What? Stop it. You too old for that. Stop acting like that. Stop doing that. Don't do that. Don't do that. They was grown and married to other people. He found him a woman that was as sick as him. Or close enough. Sicker than Allison. Allison didn't even, she wasn't partaking in none of that stuff. She wasn't fulfilling them type of fantasies. She found out about it. It all came out with the sick ass affair that they were having. Hello? And y'all just act like we gonna put some extra icing on that part, and we gonna, like, you gonna make the cake look smooth and shit. And then you gonna serve it up like something wrong with this cake. You put some boiled eggs in this cake somewhere? It's got some boiled eggs in it. Get them eggs out that cake. Set them on top. Then you working with something. Okay? And just see what happens and move on. Because y'all milking it. Y'all be making all these dumbass videos and you don't be talking about nothing. But just because Micah's what? I don't know. Is she white? I mean, what is she? I'm not sure. But whatever it is, y'all love it. You want to defend it. You want to make her into a victim. And actually, you cannot do that. Yes, JP was sick. Yes, JP had mental issues too. Yes, JP was on this and that and third too. But just the same way as Cassie, it may have been P. Diddy's choice for her to start doing drugs or take drugs. She took them for years. Cassie is more of a victim than Micah. Pay attention. Age 19, she came on the scene. She was supposed to have a music career. This man of power that she came to, I don't know how she got to Diddy, was the one in charge of that. And he decided, you gonna be mine. There's no out from that. She didn't have no out. She was stuck ever since. So she basically been his prisoner for all this time. Micah, on the other hand, came to the church. She was just as much a victim as some of the other women and girls at the church. And something in her, he said, that's the one. That's the one. And who knows when or how long or whatever. But these people done growed up, married, children. He got 5 children. And they in a church having an affair. And he's sleeping with the other children there. and doing all that other shit, he was doing that shit with Micah. That's how he knew this is gonna be my new bitch. And then told Micah, I'm gonna give me a hot wife who loves the Lord. As that's probably what he saw in Micah. He said she was a hot wife who loved the Lord. Micah was a hot wife, and she was in church singing and had everybody thinking she loved the Lord. But when you join that organization, you know what you're joining. People who went there once or twice or for a week or whatever, or 2 months, they and left. They told y'all that we knew this ain't it, baby. This ain't it. And a lot of them who share their stories, they got some sick ass stories. How you gonna tell me the woman who set it off with his ass after he made it? Did y'all listen to the dad and father-in-law? Then his story got backed up on Allison's court paperwork. When she filed her paperwork, she said JP confessed to sleeping with the children at the church. The church told him to get some help, but he was like, fuck that. Dude sat on TikTok and told all that. And the church didn't have no say so. He said they went in a room where it was him, them, and I guess the elder men or whatever, whoever the deacons or whatever they call them. And then he said he was done with the church then. He gave JP a piece of his mind and all that. Oh, this is the same time when they came out with the Micah situation. Oh yeah, him and Micah. Come on, y'all. A lot of members left. Then they started the, what is it? What is it? First Rock, South Rock, Little Rock of Market Commons with the logo she designed. They built that shit from the ground up, and they've been doing this for years and years and years and years and years. And ain't no telling, to be honest, what his own children went through. Because mind you, this is a sick puppy. And mind you, he claims his own father SA'd him. So why wouldn't a sick person like that do it to his own children? You think he's going to exclude her from forcing her or having her or choosing for her to be there and participate in what's going on with the children? I'm pretty sure she was an integral part. You know, what child is not going to trust her? That woman, she gone. She gone. She gone. Tell the truth. She ain't the devil. Let that shit rock. That's how it goes down when you get down. That's how it goes down when you get down. That woman chose that life. She did all that shit. She didn't get away with it. She didn't get away with it. Maybe she did too much. It was too far too long. And helping orchestrate for him to have access to all these children in Africa, and not just him, the other ones that y'all done revealed that are sickos too. Come on now. Just like she been orchestrating everything else, she orchestrated literally them building this school over there in Africa to be with these children. And to see and hear his sick ass stand up there in church. I got, how many children he said? 120 or whatever attended, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. That school been going on. They got uniforms, they got classes, they got all that. Pictures to show that they been having school there. Built, stuff is built. It's not in the making. It's not a hope and a dream. It is a yes. And Micah been over there, and she been the face of it, and she been the one. JP been telling on Micah on purpose, in my opinion, so that people outside who are looking into this can see that she wasn't no innocent party. That's why he stood up there and talked about it for so long. And was happy to tell how she was an integral part. Just like everybody else who came out and was happy to tell how she was an integral part. That it needed to be told. Like, how could she not be? Y'all tripping. I'm questioning y'all at this point. What you into? What do you support? What do you turn your blind eye to just because you want to? Just because you want to live out your sick fantasies, because you want to sit up here and mourn and cry and feel pity for someone who was just as devious and dirty as the people who took her out. Micah was just as much head of that organization as the rest of them. She lived her life up until, for whatever reason, she just decided that she just couldn't handle it no more, or didn't want to handle it no more, which is good, but it don't always go that way. It don't always go that way, and just call it like it is.